at you for a Vlogmas day 9, and we're gonna have a conversation. Okay? We're gonna have a conversation, and that is about how important it is to monitor your people pleasing. Oh, I know. It is not fun to talk about, but I used to be such a people pleaser. Like, if there was a beautiful ornate rug on the front of people's doorway to their heart, it was me. It was me. I was there. I was pretty. You could walk on me. I'll fix it. Okay. I will fix all the holes until I couldn't anymore. A lot of what helped me is therapy, but I'm going to share with you probably the one thing that my therapist taught me that literally changed the game for me. I don't know about you, but I like to make people's lives easier. Cue healthcare. Okay. I like to make people's lives easier. So when somebody complains about something, immediately my brain goes, well, I can fix it for you. Right? Whether it's minuscule, whether it's big, whether it hurts me to do, I was doing that. My therapist was amazing, by the way. I've since graduated, but she wanted to make sure that I didn't lose that quality of myself, but that I was pickier. I was pickier, and I held up my boundaries firmer so that I wasn't helping people to fix all their problems. I was helping them when, one, they asked me, and two, when I felt like it served me, not just to make their life easier, but it was something I wanted to do for me. Basically, every time I would have that thought of like, oh, I could help them, I would have to stop and think about it. Why am I helping them? Is it because I actually want to help them, or because I don't want them to have to do it because I can just do it quicker and easier and then they won't be worried about it? A lot of the time it was that. One of the ways that I kind of helped curb this is basically every time I thought about helping somebody with something because they complained about something or I noticed something, is I wouldn't do anything about it unless they asked me directly to help them. So an example of that I always give is giving somebody a ride home from somewhere, or sending them money for lunch or gas or something like that. If somebody complained that they don't want to eat their lunch, then I'd be like, well, I can buy lunch. Or if someone complained they were tired, I'd be like, well, let me send you money for coffee. And that's cute. Okay. It is cute to a certain extent. And it's something I would 100% do for somebody that I was dating or cared about. But that can only go so far a lot of the time. So I stopped doing that, and I waited until they asked me for a ride. And then I was more than happy to do it. I waited until they asked me to help them with their studies, or I waited until they asked me to help them find something in the house. I waited until they asked me to help them cook breakfast for themselves. All those things, and it felt so weird and so wrong in the beginning. And then as I was doing it, I realized how often I was just swooping in and taking care of it, but I wasn't even being thanked. I wasn't even being appreciated. So it felt super weird at first, like I said, but after I started doing that more, I really realized that I needed more boundaries in that aspect of my life. By putting those rules on it, I was able to not only put boundaries on, but take a step and think about, why am I helping this person? And it doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care for them. But if you are who I'm talking to, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes we need those boundaries because or else we have nothing to give. We're giving every single ounce of everything that we have to solve somebody else's problems, when in reality, that is not what should be happening. We're just fixing people. We think we're fixing things for people. We think we're making their life so easy. But in reality, they're not learning anything either. You have to be able to ask for help as an adult. You're going to need it at some point. And that's something that you will never learn if you have somebody that's always fixing it for you. You have to be able to step out of your comfort zone and feel weird and feel anxiety to ask somebody to help you. This is not something that you have to cut off. You don't help anybody do anything because you're on boundaries and you're doing this. No, if you really want to do it because it makes your heart happy, like, I want to get this person flowers every week, not because they expect it, but because that's the thing that I want to do for them, which now I do for myself, then that's for you to do. But it shouldn't feel like if they ever complain that they don't get flowers, that now you have to get them for them to fix that part of them, if that makes sense. It's so important to be able to set those boundaries for yourself and to be able to really, really, really think about why you're doing the actions you're doing, because you need to be filling your own cup, just like I said a couple vlogs ago. I think it's easy for us to push ourselves to the side when we start to like somebody or when we love our family or friends so much. A lot of the time it can come at a self-sacrifice that's unnecessary, because they're not going to be mad at you if you don't help them. They might be a little bit thrown off and frustrated, but I'm going to tell you from experience of doing this with my own family members and they didn't even know it, they're not going to be mad at you. It's just a change. I thought if I didn't fix things for people, they would be mad at me because they're used to me fixing it for them. And some people were frustrated. Some people had a hard time with that. But then eventually, once I held my ground long enough, everything worked out. Is that always going to be the case? No. Maybe I got divorced. But making sure that you understand your boundaries and you hold them is so important. And they can feel really mean. I felt so mean at first. And after a while of making myself stop and think about why I'm helping these people or doing it for them, I started to realize I'm not being mean. There was just no reason for me to do it for you in the first place. I wasn't really making your life easier. I wasn't really giving you that much. I was just doing it for you. For what? So once I started to realize how kind of unnecessary it was for me to do these things for other people when they didn't ask, they didn't anything, and how little I would ever get of that back, it changed a lot of things in perspective for me. And I'm so thankful that my therapist shared that with me. I would not be the person I am today if I had not gone to therapy. My divorce was really hard. It was really hard. I made the choice of separation. I made the choice of permanent divorce. There was a lot of really hard fights, arguments, conversations, text messages, times in it. And I lost a lot of who I was, but thankfully I was able to find that person again through therapy, through living in my car alone for 6 months with my dogs, through lots of tears and breakdowns and swear words and fights, and it was a lot, but I'm thankful. By having boundaries and growing stronger in who you are and realizing that you don't need to do things for other people all the time, it starts to make it easier for you to figure out who you are inside versus all these other pieces of people being who make you up all the time. Who are you? Thanks for watching. Happy Vlogmas. I hope that you can give me a like and a subscribe. I hope that you're having a great December. I hope that your goals are being in the process of being met. And I can't wait to hear from you. Love ya.